Welcome to the Krista Escamilla Show.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Krista Escamilla Show. I am so grateful that you are here. We thank you for your time, and we thank you for being here for three of my favorite things: listening, learning, and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Since I am on the thank you train, our sponsors, yes, but before I introduce our amazing guest, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Without you, we could not have our show. So a huge shout out to Omni Midland Hotel, Rig ID Workwear, Midland Cap Company, the new Laughlin Hotel, which will be breaking ground shortly, and also to let me think. I know I'm forgetting someone. Kevin Foreman Financial, and also to joincapclub.com. We appreciate our sponsors, and as always, support local wherever you're at. Local's where it's at. Speaking of local, if you are from West Texas, you know this beautiful lady that I'm sitting next to right now. Please welcome with a huge round of applause wherever you are at. A friend of mine, she has a lot of amazing titles. She is a powerhouse woman here in the Permian. She is a mom, a wife, a mom of two beautiful girls. Chief of Staff of UTPB, the 1998 Miss Texas is in the house, a journalist for CBS 7, and she is also, she is wearing two new titles today. She is now a golfer, and she is a blogger of the Messy Middle. Tatum Hubbard is with us today. Thank you, Tatum.
Hi, Krista. It's so nice to be in your place where you've built this awesome opportunity and this great career, and I'm really proud of you. This is cool.
Thank you. Well, I have looked up to you for so many years, and you have just been so amazing in our community in every aspect of whatever you have done through the years. And so I can't wait to share with our viewers all the great things that you've done, because a lot of us that know you and love you know what a hard worker you are, and know how just really that you put 150% in whatever you do. And so I cannot wait to hear how you've gotten to the title that you were at today, because it is very well-desered.
Thank you.
Let's start from the beginning, Tatum. How did you get to West Texas?
Well, I was born and raised here, so Odessa is home for me. My mother is from Odessa. Both sets of my grandparents, my father was, so I'm at least third generation, maybe fourth generation. I went away to go to college at UT Arlington, and then came back to start my work as a news anchor when Mr. Bushman bought CBS 7 back in 2000. So I was home and did the news for 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it was 18 years.
18 years.
And for those of you who have, you've heard we've had a couple former CBS 7 anchors on before. Of course, Jay Hendricks, who you shared the anchor desk with for so many years. But there's one thing that we all have done. Stephanie, the same thing. Our profound love for Mr. Bushman.
We love John Bushman, yes.
What he really did for our community and still does to this day. And so what a great, if you were going to have a first station to be at, and it wasn't owned by him at first, right?
It was for me.
It was, okay.
I came on when he bought the TV station, and that was my first job in news. I just sort of come off my year as Miss Texas.
Yes.
And, I came back to try to get a job in the news business before I was Miss Texas, and I interviewed at all three stations, and nobody would hire me because I didn't really have any proof that I could, do the thing that they were hiring me to do. And news was very hierarchical then.
Yes.
So you had to come in and be a producer or a field reporter.
Work your way up.
You did,
Yes.
earn your stripes. But John saw it differently. So that was
as a smart
great
man.
Opportunity.
There's other two stations at the time. I'm just saying, you missed out. You missed out. Sorry, but you did an incredible job. And I think the thing that really with your journalism, the personal touch, because you have a personal connection to people and you can see your heart. And that wasn't a thing, right? When we were growing up, like you just read the news.
Yeah.
And it changed. And I really feel like you embraced that and did a great job of really connecting with the viewers and the storytellers.
Well, thank you for that. A lot of it is leadership down. So if that's the concept and the idea of ownership, then that's the stories you get to tell, which is part of why I'm no longer in the news business. I mean, I feel things have transitioned to a little bit more of a formulaic approach. So I did love to tell stories about humans and people. For many years I did Sunday's Child, where we featured children in the foster care system who were looking for a forever family. That was a lot of inventory in a 10 o'clock newscast, and they let me do that for a lot of years. So, it's a tricky business, and I loved it when it was...
You said it's tricky. What? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's a tricky business because it's hard to absorb all that sad content all the time.
Yes.
I mean, I know you feel the same. When you're primarily reading court documents or police reports, you're really hearing the worst parts of humanity.
Yes.
Every day. And so that is hard.
Right.
And then I think balancing the kind of news people say they want to hear, like, why don't you tell things that are more uplifting and more and happier? And then the kind of news that we know from data and statistics really moves the needles in ratings.
Right.
So that's the tricky part.
Right.
And then adding in sort of the corporate pressures, and I think it's an interesting business.
It is. It is interesting. It is a business that I hope never goes away, because we need local news and we need to know what's happening. Hopefully it will just evolve and change through the years too, and maybe it could take on some of those things that we loved about it.
Yeah.
Because there are so many good people out there sharing the stories, like Jay.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of good guys left.
There are.
But what wasn't ever wasted were the skills that you learned from that career path.
Yes.
I mean, you and I were just joking about learning how to meet a deadline.
Yes.
You know, it's ingrained in our hearts and souls that you have a project and you complete the project. And, you know, those writing skills and communication skills and all of that has served me well as I've transitioned to various roles.
Right, because no matter what, at 6 p.m., you have to be live.
Yeah, you're going
no
on the
matter
air.
what. No matter if you have mascara on or not, you better be on that desk.
Do you have the dream? Do you have the news anchor dream?
That you show up and you don't have your hair or your makeup done?
Yeah.
Yes. Which, by the way, did you always get asked, who does your hair and makeup?
Yeah. Me.
Yeah. You're looking at her. You have to do your own hair and makeup in news.
Listen, this is not a made-up story. This is the real thing. About 10 minutes until 10 o'clock one night, I have veneers on my front 6 teeth. And I was eating something, and I looked up, and my front veneer sure did pop off.
Oh, no.
One. And, you know, when you have veneers, they're kind of, your teeth underneath are not so good. So I just shoved it back up, and it stayed long enough to do the 10 o'clock. Went to the dentist the next day.
Oh, my goodness.
And I was by myself. Who's going to do, you know, yeah.
Right, yeah. So sometimes you don't have, you know, your counterpart. Jay wasn't there to go, okay, you're taking all the 1 shots tonight. Yeah. I'll just be on a 2 shot. No.
Front teeth or not, you're doing the news.
Right,
This is
exactly.
happening.
I love that story. But it's true. The deadlines, the things, there's so many aspects of it that I believe, because there's a big club of us former anchors, not only here in West Texas, but across the world. The skills you learn, they help you in the whatever you decide to do.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk. We'll circle back to Miss Texas, because I have so many fun things I want to hear about your journey. But really, the skills you learned helped you for what you're doing now. Tell us about this role that you're in, because I feel like what you and Dr. Woodley, and I know it's a huge team of people,
It is.
have transformed UTPB into something amazing in our community. That
Thank you.
You know, those of us that are here and have seen it over the past 25 or 30 or 40 or 50 years, however long, you've seen it transform.
Yeah, you know, growing up here, I didn't really know what happened in that building. So it was a little bit of a mystery. It literally faces into the interior, and the campus was built around a quad that didn't really face out. So, you know, I knew Midland College and I knew Odessa College, didn't know a lot about UTPB.
Right.
But when I knew my time at CBS 7 was coming to a close, and I really for 2 years knew it's time to do something different, I crossed paths with Sandy Woodley.
Oh, okay.
Initially just sort of as emceeing an event and being around her, and immediately I thought, well, she is going to do something important. And then about a year after she got here, we started talking about what it might look like for me to work there. And honestly, I didn't know anything about higher ed. I mean, I went to college, but Miss Texas was much more of a
Right.
priority in those years.
Right.
But I knew whatever she's doing, I want to get on that train, and I want to help my community in the way that she had the vision for that. So it was quick, and 7 years later, I've been there 7 years now.
That's
I know.
amazing. I love it, and I love that you saw something in her, the energy, the leadership, because we were talking about leadership. It really does start from the top, right? And
Yeah.
And if you have a leader that is supportive, so what was it about her that made you go, you know what, I'm ready to stop? But something that you did for 18 years.
Yeah.
Because that's a big move. It's hard to make those changes.
Change is really hard. A professional pivot at that stage in your life is hard, but I knew, I mean, my intuition, I should have probably followed it a little earlier. But she has had a vision I agreed with. I saw where we were going with the university, and more importantly, why the university needed to transition to this really bigger project. And she was a whole lot of fun. And I want to work really hard, and I always want to have fun.
Yes.
So those two things, I mean, that sounds a little trivial, but truly, if you're not enjoying part of your work, it may be not the right fit.
Right.
I think that's almost always true.
And life's too short.
Yeah.
It's too short to do something you don't like.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad you saw that and took that. What you've done there, from an outsider looking in, is you've just created this, what most people thought was a small local school, right? To now where you're like, this is a university that I want to send my kids to.
Yeah.
Right. And so
I'm glad you feel that way. That's our goal. Yes.
It really has. I mean, just again, from the outside, I mean, the way that you have communicated to the community everything that you do, and I'm sure your communications degree helped with that, right? It kind of helps, knowing that communications is important, but it's also, it's hard to implement, right? When you're thinking of a big university, that's a lot of people that you need to highlight and focus. So how did you jump in and start? What was the first thing you did?
Well, the first thing I did was hire a really great team. And as you said, many of them are former news people, but they knew how to tell those stories. And as you're saying, people just didn't really know what was happening there. And so we really flipped the script and started telling stories of our faculty and the great work they're doing, the sort of experience students have. You really know your faculty. They're outstanding. Yes. The staff, and then of course the students. We've got so many great stories to tell. And so that sounds easy. Telling the story is not easy though. Right. You can't depend on the traditional media to carry your story for you. So you have to do a good mix of social media, producing your own content with videos and photography and writing copy and blogs and success stories. Yes. So just developing all that content was the first few years, and then figuring out what is our value proposition. And I think we know our value proposition is an outstanding, relevant degree at an affordable price.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We have kids in college, and
it's expensive.
It can be prohibitively, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And our career outcomes prove a degree from UTPB, we have the third highest starting salary of any of the UT system schools. Wow.
That's
so
amazing.
Good stuff happening. That's not all because of UTPB. Right. The Permian economy is also supporting that. But we need these students to come and earn their degree and really learn those skills that make them the kind of people we want to hire.
Right.
It's one thing to know an equation, but can you problem solve? Can you be kind? Can you communicate?
Can you talk? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I think that is something that the generation that's grown up on, on a phone looking here, having the eyes up here is something that is a learned skill. And so, and I'm sure y'all focus on that there. And I actually know really well a product of UTPB who just loves you and Dr. Woodley to pieces, and she is thriving, Carmen Dragon.
Oh man.
Who
she's the poster child.
She is. Yeah. I mean, she just really is. And talk about, and hi, Jerry, she loves our show.
Hi.
And I know she loves you. And so she's going to be watching. But she is just doing amazing things, and now is going to law school. And just, I mean, has really flourished. And I know that she really thanks UTPB for a lot of that, and just really supporting her where she was at, because I think that's important, is to meet people where they're at, support them where they need, and support their goals and their dreams. And you're making dreams come true.
Wow.
Which, what's better than that? I mean, I want to see everyone's dream come true. There's nothing better than making people's dreams come true.
It has been a really cool opportunity. And even as I'm not an educator, people often say, what do you teach at UTPB? No, I'm not qualified to teach, but we do get to work with students a lot. And I think it is seeing how they feel differently about themselves when they've finished and earned a degree.
Yes.
Look, not everybody needs to earn a 4-year degree. Some people, I want them to learn skills, and they'll have an outstanding life when they have a technical skill. We need all of those things in the Permian. Yes. So it's pretty awesome to see, those graduation day. If you ever need to be uplifted, come to graduation day and watch an entire family. Many times there are little children, have signs and flowers. it makes me weep every time.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations on the transition, on what then succeeding in all that you do, and really, it's fun to watch, and I'm really happy for you. And you mentioned something. You said I couldn't teach. I can name about 5 things on this hand right here that you would do well teaching at. You've got a lot of those amazing skills that you'd be a great teacher. Anyone would be lucky to have you in the classroom. But I wanted to circle back to something you said, intuition, because I think as moms, as businesswomen, as just really everybody needs to listen to their intuition more, because I feel like the times I didn't in my life, I wish I would have, right? Yeah. And so what could you speak to the young people that are listening, because you have a lot of, I'm sure there's a lot of UTPB Falcons watching. What would you speak to them on that? Because they're getting their education, they're getting the skills, but that intuition part, it's hard to listen to.
It is, and I think you earn trust with others and you earn trust with yourself. So when we do listen to our intuitions, that reinforces the trust that we have with ourselves. And when we don't, there is a lesson to be learned there also. We're not going to get it right 100% of the time. Nope. But when you're past it and you look back and you go, okay, I could hear that whisper a year or so ago or more. I think you have to earn trust even with yourself. Why is it hard? I don't know. Sometimes it feels like quitting or giving up. Yeah. And most of us are raised not to do that. You don't quit in the middle of a season. You don't quit team. But we have to, I think, reframe that a little bit and give ourselves permission to listen to that inner voice.
Right.
I'm not saying quick knee-jerk reactions if you have a bad day or a bad week or things are hard and there's a project that's, slowly evolving. But if there's an extended period of time in a relationship or in a work environment, your intuition is usually right.
It really is. And, you have to fail in life. You learn more from the failures than you do from the wins. I mean, you really do. Yeah. And, with younger, our we have kids about the same age. Yeah. I always tell them it's just as important to know what you don't want to do as it is what you do want to do. And so when you are quitting something after the season ends and mom has paid for all said uniforms or dance costumes,
what? Is that familiar?
You can then make that decision, but then you go, okay, that's not what I want to do, because you're saying yes to something else when you say, when you're saying, no, this is not for me, it's okay, because you're saying yes to something that is. So I think that's important. Okay, I want to hear your quote of the day, which one you pull out. Okay, mix them up.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm a big quote girl, Tatum.
I do know that you are. Okay, this is...
You got the polite card, because you are so polite. You are.
Don't let someone else's opinion of you become reality. Les Brown. That's a good one.
Isn't that good? What does that mean to you?
Well, you mentioned being at Miss Texas.
Yes.
So in my early years, so from 18 to 24, I competed at Miss Texas. So I competed 6 times before I finally won.
Love that story. I love the story because of the perseverance.
Well, it's been a life lesson. But, you sign up for that, and for sure, it's the definition of this quote. It's literally someone's opinion of you in terms of who succeeds or wins or doesn't win. So, 5 times in a row at least, someone's opinion of me was you weren't the best. And in some cases, in the early years, you weren't even good enough to have your name called out, literally. So, that was a life lesson. Pageants did a lot of great things.
Right.
No matter how you feel about it, those lessons for me have been lasting.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because pageants, and I think pageants are great. Fun fact, we grew up in the same pageant system. We didn't know each other back then, but
California, Texas.
We were at the same world pageant one time as kids. And I was like, wait, I know that name sounds familiar when I moved to Odessa, because I remember that was the only time I'd ever heard of Odessa, Texas, when your name would get called out for contestant number 35, Tatum Hubbard from Odessa,
Only I said
Texas.
it like this, from Odessa, Texas. That's what I sounded like. Yes. So embarrassing.
No, you were so cute. Us Californians loved the Texas accent. Let me tell you, and the Mississippi girls. Remember the Mississippi girls? Oh, I didn't even realize I had my readers on. But anyway, the Mississippi girls, they just all said y'all and yes ma'am, and we didn't know that. In California.
Do you say it now?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, because I am maybe a Texan now after 26 years. By choice, yes. But pageantry teaches you so many things. But here's the one thing, and I'm sure you would agree with me, is the older we get, we grew up being judged, right? And also looking at the others as competition. And that's something that I wish I would have known earlier in life, that everyone's winning. I mean, I always thought everyone's winning for getting up there, right? But they truly are because of the skills they learn. But the other person's not your competition. Any other given day, another set of judges, right? 5 times in a row, different set of judges. You should have won every time, right? But in my book, but that 6th time the judges got it right. But really, it's really just their opinion of you, and you should never base your worth off someone else's opinion. And that's what I wish pageantry,
words to live by.
Maybe maybe the new generation of pageantry can learn that a little younger, because I wish we would have, because I didn't realize that until I got older and was like, they're not the competition. I'm my own competition. I just want to be better than I was yesterday, right?
Yeah. Well, we try to teach our children that.
Right.
And even if you aren't in, one of my girls danced, so she hasn't done pageant, same thing.
Yes.
I mean, if you do none of those things and you just follow the Kardashians, this comparison culture is tough. You don't have to do anything I've really tried not to talk about weight or skin or in a critical way, you know. But moms don't have to. They get plenty of that from the world.
Right.
They just learn it. They just absorb it. So, I've been really pleased. My daughter's part of a competition group at a local high school. And they, although are competitive as a team, against each other, they really have found a way to overcome that. They're really good friends. So to your point, I do hope this generation is less competitive and threatened by one another and more supportive. And I've seen some evidence of that.
I agree. And I have seen that too. And I hope that continues, because I believe we're just better supporting each other than against in anything. That's why it's like community over competition, right? Or collaboration, which you have done so beautifully in the UTPB space. I see you're always collaborating with other entities, and I think that's fantastic. What was your favorite moment from Miss Texas, and your funniest moment? Oh wait, I didn't even get to ask your quote of the day. First, your favorite quote, and then we'll get to that.
Oh, I don't know a quote. Let me think about the quote.
Okay, we'll come back to your quote.
Comes to mind. I should have been prepared for that.
No, you're good.
Favorite Miss Texas moment? I mean, I think winning. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Because you worked hard for it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't win a lot, so that was the best moment. And the worst moment, honestly. So you go to Miss America when you win Miss Texas, and back then you would walk out on the Miss America stage in Atlantic City, and you would see your delegation on the final night,
holding up your name and your picture.
And when I walked out, they were all crying, because back then you used to learn before the final night who was in the top 10, because they would move you around so you'd be close to the stage. And so when I walked out and saw them crying, I realized I had not made the top 10. And so that's my, look, that's the biggest disappointment about my life. Right. I'm winning. If your biggest disappointment is that you didn't win Miss America, I think you're going to be okay.
Well, and I think I think everything happens for a reason. And I always think, if you would have won Miss America, you might not have come back and met Brad, and you might not have your 2 beautiful girls. I always look at things like that, and I was like, God's plan was better than the one that you had for yourself. So
there have been a lot of cool things happen since then.
Absolutely.
But it is now funniest. I walked off I was on a stage with my crown on, and the lights were up, and I walked straight off the front of the stage, like off the front of the stage. I wasn't hurt.
Oh, good.
That was embarrassing.
Those things happen. Those things happen. Yes. Well, I think if there's anyone watching that you want to give advice to for pageants, they are a great way to gain confidence. And there's other avenues to do it. I think that Bell, the Symphony Bell, and is almost like a pageant, but everyone's the winner, which I love. I love that they get presented, and I think that is a beautiful way to learn some skills that you will learn the rest of your life.
Yeah, learn to be a lady, learn to be a gentleman, learn how to open a door. There are opporunities to do that.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give someone that maybe wants to do pageantry or wants to? I reserve that for more people who are already in their adulthood. I think it's a hard thing for children. This is my personal opinion, hard for children. So if you're in adulthood, I think there are so many skills that can be learned from it. Yeah. So if you have proven you can focus on yourself and not take the criticism too personally or change how you feel about yourself, but it's...
my children neither really showed a lot of interest, but it would be hard to convince me to encourage them to do that.
I understand, and probably because you grew up doing it, and so it's a little different.
I just think the world judges you in so many ways that maybe we don't have to subject that to ourselves. Now, if one of them wanted to do it, I'd probably be, here's the lipstick, let's get it done.
You would jump into encouraging mom for whatever they want to do, right? Whether it was a pageant or it was they decided to, I don't know, go run a half marathon, right? Whatever,
for sure.
Whatever it is, that's the mom in you that is going to be like full out. I love that. Let's talk about something that I know is near and dear to your heart, because there was a scholarship that is presented in your name, and so you're getting to merge two things you love, which was the Miss Texas and then higher education. Tell me about that scholarship opportunity for women.
Well, the very kind John Trischetti, somehow when I was Miss Texas, he came across me, and I think spoke at a school where he was at. Anyway, all these years later, he has been such a supporter of me, and that he started this scholarship in my name, an endowed scholarship.
Love it.
Several of people who have been a big part of my life contributed to the scholarship, and so now every year we interview girls who are competing at Miss Texas who qualify. So you have to live west of I-35, maybe be in communications or journalism or higher education, and then we interview them and select one girl each year to be the winner. So scholarships changed my life.
Yeah.
I didn't pay for a dime of school through Miss Texas scholarships. Yeah. And so I graduated debt-free, and this is another opportunity to support that.
I agree. I think the scholarship aspect, that's how I paid my way through college.
Yeah.
I mean, without it, there was no fund to fund, besides working, so to have that as an opportunity for ladies, I applaud you and John Trischetti for doing that, and
Thank
all the
you.
people that donated, because I just think anything that you can do to give people an opportunity for education is a positive. I don't care what the scholarship looks like, what it is. You said something earlier also I wanted to circle back to. You said, the 6 times and the perseverance. That really translates to golf, right? Because you're going to lose more than you win in golf.
And swing more than 6 times on every hole.
Yes.
No matter what.
I wish I could only swing, twice on a hole. That just doesn't happen. No.
I mean, I'm a new golfer. So, my husband has played golf seriously for many, many years, but we'll be empty nesters this year. So I've taken it up for that reason. It is addictive. I am all in and so bad. And there's so many mental thoughts that go through one's mind when one is deciding how to swing the club.
Very true. But I'm so glad you're doing it, because it is such a great sport.
It's been transformative for me, really.
And I love that you can do it together, because I love that when there's something that you can do with your husband as you transition to empty nesting, that is important to have those connection times, because let's face it, it's all about the kids. When they're in our homes, which, as it should be. But now you're entering this new stage, and I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to watch your golf journey. I think you're going to do great, because you are great at anything you do. So I think that you will be great. Just be easy with yourself.
I think you should lower your expectations.
No, I'm telling you, you're going to be a natural. Just keep on practicing. That's
my goal every round is to have a round where I don't swing and miss, and I've not yet had one.
It's coming. It's coming, Tatum.
It's so embarrassing.
It's coming.
It's so embarrassing.
It's all right. It happens to everyone. Let's ask you now. Do you have a quote of the day?
I do.
Okay.
I love this quote. I love.
Okay.
Don't let the great be the enemy of the good.
Oh, I love that.
I have to say that to myself a lot, because when things are, you want perfection and you want it to be excellent, and of course, that's a great thing to strive for, but sometimes we let that perfectionism get in the way of just something being good.
Yes.
And everything can't be a 10. Some things have to be okay at a 6 or a 7.
Right.
Kind of about the messy middle, It is the middle. I'm trying to find a way to navigate that middle better, where I'm not always high or always low. I'm okay with just sort of being content in the middle.
Right. Which is hard. right? It is
for
hard.
type A
It is.
perfectionist. It's hard,
Right, because you want it to be perfect right away, and you want it to do, be there, but you got to do the middle first. I mean, really, you have to enjoy the middle, because that's where the good stuff happens. I mean, is in the middle. Yeah. And so, if you're wondering what the messy middle is,
well, I am too. We're in it together.
The Messy Middle is a new blog that Tatum started, and I love that you're doing this because you have such a great. She's always been a writer, and you have a great writer's voice, and great things to say because you can really make it relatable. And I think that's important as a writer to connect to people's lives. And a lot of times you're just saying what we're thinking, right?
Well,
so,
I hope so.
How did this come about? How did the Messy Middle start?
A little bit intuition. For, I would say, a couple of years, this concept of the middle has been weighing on me. I mean, I'll drive by driving the street and be like, middle lane, middle finger, middle, I don't know, middle of the road, middle ages. There's just a lot.
We should play that game. You say middle, and then we say what first thing that comes into mind.
I have a list of a lot of middle things. So that intuition, something about the middle was interesting to me. I made a midlife career pivot, and that probably really sparked it because after that, I had a lot of people ask about that. Like, how did you find the courage to do that? How did you know you would be successful? All really good questions.
Right.
And so that really got it sparked. And now, being in the middle of my life, literally in the middle of my life, all the things that comes with that, being in experiencing menopause, experiencing dealing with my aging parents and my children.
Right. We're the sandwich generation.
Yes. We're smack dab in the middle, and that's hard. And then I think, understanding with my work at the university, the people who are the middle professionals are sometimes overlooked, and they are literally the glue that holds everything together. And I would say in my 7 years at the university, that sort of, I even hate to use the phrase middle management because it's kind of gotten a bad connotation. But those mid-level professionals, they need more support. They need more help. They need more training and development because they are setting the culture. They are setting the tone. They are walking out the vision. And so that's been my greatest joy, I think, is to work with those mid-level professionals. So what is it? I don't know. Right now it's putting ideas on paper and really thinking about, that middle disposition of how we approach our lives, middle of life, and mid-level professionals.
And starting the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a political person by training,
right.
But I even think in terms of our politics, why is everything so far right or so far left?
Couldn't agree more. Right.
Why is the middle a terrible place to be? It's not in my marriage.
Right.
That's sort of how we make it every day, or
right.
parenting, or you sort of have to come to a compromise. Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing is respecting the other's opinion of wherever it's at, but meeting in the middle. Like you've always heard, let's meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Why can't we just meet in the middle? And so I love that you're exploring this. I think it's a great conversation. What have you learned so far about it?
Well, I've learned that a lot of people deal with the same ideas. They're also struggling with the middle of their lives, and how not to get caught up in the polarity and the extremes that we see on social media. Right. And, I've been surprised at the number of people who have wanted to make a midlife change and struggled with finding the confidence to do that. Right. So I've learned I'm not alone. Yeah. And I think it's an issue that will resonate with a lot of people. I'm not sure what that looks like. I don't know if it's, a book or the ability to speak and coach and train. I don't know yet, but it's fun to explore.
Or all of
that.
The above.
A little bit of maybe all of the above. I just believe that that concept makes our world a little better.
Right.
So I'm into it.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited for you. I'll be cheering you on because I know it's an important conversation, and you are a great public speaker. And so, really one of the best MCs I've ever seen. So you do an amazing job.
From you, that's a compliment. Thank you. I said right back at you.
I mean it. Because it's a hard thing to do to get up there and MC, but because of your years and your comfortness in front of them and the connectedness, you make them feel comfortable. And so I'm excited for you to see where it goes. Thanks. And I'll be cheering you on and wishing you all the best. And
thank you.
Follow her on all the socials, on everything.
Messy Middle. So you'll see if you hashtag Messy Middle. I'm not the only one talking about the Messy Middle, but you'll find it if you go that way.
You will find her. They will find her. Okay, we do question of the day. Okay. So just a question. Let's mix them up again. And
I won't look. Let's see. All right. The question is.
Oh, you got the strong card. Yes.
How do you motivate yourself daily?
Ooh, good question. Good question.
That is a good one. I try to think long term. I try not to think about what I haven't accomplished, but try to think long term. I mean, really at 50 years old, I just turned 50 this year. I want to be healthy for a longer period of time. And so I think that is very motivating, to get up and move here's my things I'm trying to do. Move my body more, eat more protein.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I get you, because when you're over 50, you need more protein.
And it's hard to do. Yeah.
Yes.
And then try to do a little resistance training. I hate lifting weights, and so that's exaggerated, but I am trying to, have a stronger core. I've read somewhere where you should be able to walk around holding 50-pound weights, just walk for like 90 seconds.
Right.
It's really hard to do, but they say it translates to your ability to be independent, to open bottles in your older age or get into the cabinet. I mean,
yeah, I just read you should squat every day because you can get off the ground.
Like independently or against the wall?
Independently. I know. So start with bands first. That's where I'm starting. Hold on to the bands. But you should hold that squat for like 30 seconds or a minute.
Okay.
Because again, you're gonna have to get off the ground when you.
Have you seen the one where you should be able to sit down Indian style and stand back up without using your hands?
Yeah, I can't do that yet.
I can. I don't. I'm shocked that I can do it.
That is hard to do.
It's hard.
Yes, that is hard to do.
So go home and try it.
Go do that now and squat and take your protein and all the things. But weights, because when we were growing up, I don't think weight training was talked about as much.
No, you just tried to burn calories.
You were doing aerobics and step classes in the 80s and running and all the aerobic things, which are good too, but not what we're learning as important as the weight training and really moving your body.
Yes.
And so I love that for you. Congratulations.
Well,
it's a good goal. It is.
I'm in the middle of it. I'm not every day, and that's hard for me. I typically penalize myself, or I sort of do what this says, and I fall out of motivation if I'm not perfect about it. So again, trying to stay in that middle zone.
And I think that's important, is you always have to give yourself grace, because not every day you're going to run a 10K, or not every day you're going to eat the salad and not dip into the French fries. Because man, those fries are good, especially Chick-fil-A. But it's like you have to give yourself grace on those things. I heard the term the other day, and I love this term because I've always been kind of health focused, but not always good at it, right? Like sometimes you do have the French fries or the chocolate cake, because let's face it, it's really good.
Yeah.
But longevity optimist is this term that I love. Because
I like that.
I do too, because I was like, that resonates, because I always say 100's the goal. I'm like, that's where we're trying to go, which puts us in the middle, right?
Yeah.
So if 100's the goal, but instead of really focusing on that number, saying I'm a longevity optimist.
I
want
that.
to be here as long as I can. I want to be optimistic about it, do all the things. If I don't one day, it's okay, to give yourself that grace.
Well, it's interesting that you say optimist. Before we started recording, I was saying I'm a little bit of a pessimist. By nature, I'm a realist, I think.
And I was shocked. I was like, no,
Yeah.
I didn't get that from you.
Yeah, I typically sometimes see things from the worst possible scenario, which I don't love about myself. And again, that's that middle part. I'm trying to change that. I don't know if that's from news business or if that's just my predisposition. But I'm really trying to flip that script.
It's hard not to go there sometimes, right? Have you ever watched Blue Bloods?
No.
Oh, great show, by the way. And we're so late on the bandwagon.
I'm too busy watching all the Housewives.
Yeah,
I don't have time for Blue Bloods.
Love Housewives.
Me too.
Love it. But I am hooked on it.
Okay.
So a friend of ours suggested the other day. It started in 2010. It stars Tom Selleck. But every episode, somebody is getting killed and they're figuring it out, and it takes place in NYPD, and I've never watched any of these shows ever in my whole life. I've always been like Friends every night. I'm gonna watch Friends or Housewives or American Idol or The Voice. And so to watch something like this, I can see how you start thinking, like when that person walks in, they're like the mind can go to this other space really quick, right? And so the mind is such a strong thing. So I understand that. Like sometimes we think, okay, you go to the worst case scenario first, right?
Yeah.
And so someone the other day, I heard them say, go to the best case scenario first. And I was like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Think what's the best possible outcome first.
That's a good strategy. It is. And
it's
again,
hard.
I think a little bit of a
so
balance.
hard.
You want to have enough realism that you don't get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And not be such a chaotic thinker that you you're immobilized by your fear.
Yeah.
You know, again, finding the
The middle.
Yeah.
It's about the middle.
It's about
That's
the middle.
right. We're gonna do that. We're gonna all work on finding the middle and joining the conversation at the same
Yeah,
time.
I
Because
love
love that. I love that for you. Okay, we do something called favorite things.
Okay.
And I just ask you, I throw out some favorite, and you tell me the first thing that pops into your mind.
Okay.
So, favorite restaurant in West Texas?
Cork and Pig.
Yes, isn't that pizza
I love
amazing?
it. I love everything. All of it. It's
And
good.
I think it's in the middle of that longevity. It's okay to have pizza.
Or if you haven't had their pot de creme dessert,
Not. Is it so good?
it's my favorite dessert
Okay.
of all time. Yeah, if you like a rich chocolate, it is so good.
I love that.
You could
Okay.
share it though because it's really rich.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try that. Favorite coffee shop?
Black Rifle.
Yeah,
It was
good
just
one,
there.
good one.
It was just
there.
there.
There you go. Favorite? Oh, are your girls Swifties?
Yeah, we went to the Taylor Swift concert.
Okay.
Yes.
Favorite era?
1989.
Oh, isn't it?
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. I mean, yeah, that's what we grew up in. Yeah,
Yeah.
the 80s. I love that. I love that. Okay, favorite hype song. Tatum Hubbard's walking into an event. What song is playing in your head?
This girl is on fire. Yeah, it has to be that.
Yes, I love it. See, now I'm going to think of that every time I see you.
Okay, good.
Good. That's a good one. Good hype song. Favorite memory in West Texas?
Oh, I have so many great memories being here. The first image that pops into my mind are things like being at the 4th of July celebration in downtown Midland or the Permian Basin Fair, like being
Yes.
around lots of people. And those are core memories for me, I guess.
Right.
And they're all attached to the news business, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of memories from high school. Yeah, but that's what first pops into my mind are those sort of larger community events, maybe because that is impactful to me. And,
Right.
I loved taking our girls to that. On the 4th of July, I always had to work
Right.
the 10 o'clock news, and our girls would always come. And I remember thinking, oh, I like that they're here at work with me and they're experiencing the fireworks together.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself an extrovert or an introvert?
An extrovert.
Extrovert, yeah.
Yeah.
You feed off the energy of others.
I do,
Yeah.
much to
I-
my husband's chagrin, but yeah.
I understand that 100%.
Al's not an extrovert?
I think our husbands would get along great.
Okay,
No,
that surprises me.
Yeah, no, he's more introvert. I love all the people and being around, and he loves people, but he's a little bit more like one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like he loves the one-on-one.
Well, and I've heard it's the way you recharge your battery.
Yes.
So
yes.
it does lift my battery, but it depletes his,
Yeah.
and he needs a minute. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite movie?
Oh, I love The American President with Annette Bening.
Yes.
And
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh, it's an oldie and a goodie. Recently, I loved the second version of Top Gun. I thought it was really good.
So good.
That seems
good.
sort of shallow, but those are two. I
It's
love.
not at all. I could watch Top Gun. That's actually Al's favorite movie is Top Gun. We could watch that Maverick over and over. I don't care. It's on. There's certain movies that
Maverick,
are on
I didn't even
TV that you can like be clicking through and see it, and I don't care where it's at in the movie. You're going to sit and watch,
Yeah.
right? That's Top Gun.
quote it.
Yeah,
Say it out
and Forrest Gump's one of those
Oh,
too.
yeah.
But Top Gun and Maverick. Oh yeah, good choices. Favorite book? I know you love to read.
I do love to read. I mean, so I loved It Ends With Us, which is so bandwagonish.
So good, so good.
I listen to a lot of leadership books, so I've listened to a lot of that lately. I loved Lessons in Chemistry. It was one of my favorite books I've read in a very long time. So I'll go with Lessons in Chemistry.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's a series also.
Okay. Did
But
not
read
know
the
that.
book first. It's awesome. It's really, really good. And then the series was good too. Yeah.
Okay. I'd have to add that one to the list. You mean leadership books like this guy?
Like Mr. John Maxwell?
John Maxwell. Insert plug here. Such a great guy. And I know one of your dear friends brings him in every year, Colin
Yes.
Sewell. And that leadership conference, I think, were we both in news at the first? I think we were both, because I remember covering it at the stage.
Well, I was trying to remember. I get to MC it this year, and I was trying to remember how many years I've done that, and it's been a lot. Like
20.
I couldn't remember if they'd reached the 20-year mark. Maybe I'll investigate, and
Okay.
then we'll find out. But do you have a favorite Sewell leadership speaker?
I mean, they've all been amazing.
Yeah.
The last the banana guy.
Savannah Banana.
The Savannah Banana
That's what I was gonna
was
say.
great. Fantastic. I mean,
He was awesome.
Yeah, but every year I'm just blown away by but I would say my favorite speaker is John Maxwell.
Yeah.
I mean, when I see him speak, I am just in awe of his leadership.
Yeah.
His connection to people, and the way that he words things, because
Yeah.
the older I get, I hold on to more words. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I love when I hear
Well,
a
good for you, because I
quote
can't
or-
remember anything the older I get. So,
Well, I forget
What
it 10
vitamins
seconds
are you
later.
taking?
No, I forget it 10 seconds later. But I'm holding on to those in the moment.
Or you jot it down in your notebook.
Exactly. I'm writing it down. I'm texting myself, or I'm texting Al when I hear a good quote. But I love hearing people's words, because I'm trying, as we get older, to be more intentional, and just in conversations and moments with kids, or at a speaking event, to really absorb what they're saying, instead of just going, okay, I've got to be here in 10 minutes ago. Because when we've got littles, back when, say 15 years ago, it's hard to be in the moment, right?
it is hard. I
You're
mean,
trying to get it done.
my favorite John Maxwell story, we ran into him at a hotel in Dallas. And I've met him many times, but my husband has met him a handful of times. He remembered Brad's name. It's crazy.
That's amazing.
And I think that says he was tuned in. He tunes into people. I think that's why we connect with him so much, because he feels like he's talking to you.
Yes.
Yeah, but it is hard. When our kids are little, it's hard to do all the things. And we're just doing the best we can.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I love that Maya Angelou quote, when you know better, you do better. And so I try to live that. Lately, I'm just like, okay, when I know better, I do better. Know better, and that's one of them. Names is another one, because I'm with you. They just kind of whoop. They just come in one ear and out the other. So
I'm sorry, who are you? No,
Yeah,
I'm
who
just
are you
kidding.
getting? Al said, what? That's you? Yeah. So we've been trying to be intentional about this. I'm trying to do the name recognition. So say I met another Tatum, right? I'd be like, and I know you well, so I'd be like, Tatum Hubbard, Tatum. I like say their name 3 times, or it's not working.
No.
It's hard.
Password yesterday, remember?
Okay, so passwords is a different story. Do we really need to go there, Al? Do you remember all your passwords? Ask yourself right now.
Well, don't tell anybody that I use the same one for
Well-
everything. I know that's bad.
I think I do, but then I try it, and it's not it.
Oh, okay.
And then because you have to add in a hashtag, or an uppercase now, or a lowercase, so,
Yeah.
I mean, they're so specific about because years ago, that's what I would do. Same one for everything, which don't listen to us on this one.
Yeah.
But
We're not tech experts.
yeah, thanks, Al. Thanks for bringing up the whole passwords. But anyway, the name recognition is so important, because I know that people do feel like when you remember the name, look, you never forgot that John Maxwell remembered
Yeah.
Brad's name. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that. So anyway, we could talk about John Maxwell for like an hour. He's so cool. Favorite part of your morning routine?
This sounds so superficial. I have discovered this under eye. It's like a cream, but it's also a highlighter.
Ooh, do tell. What is
gets
it?
Me so excited when I put it on, and I am not I mean, I don't get anything for this. But it's
Not yet. She's not getting paid for it yet. But hey, if you want to,
It's Colleen Rothschild is
Oh, yeah.
the I don't know what she is. She's the producer of it.
Okay.
But it's like an under eye cream that's got a little bit of a pink iridescent. It just takes all the red out.
Ooh.
I get
Love
excited
it.
every morning when I put it on and go, oh, look, the bags are gone. That's so silly.
No, that's amazing. I love that. And with that said, what's your favorite life hack? Something that makes your life a little easier.
My favorite life hack is probably marrying a great man. I mean,
Yes, amen to that.
That has made my life a lot easier. Yeah.
I love that.
But I set the timer on the coffee maker. That's a life hack.
Yeah.
I'm thankful every morning I get up and that's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brad, and you can't have him because he's taken. So there's your, but
sorry.
find yourself a man or a woman that really supports you and uplifts you and encourages you. What other things would you say about Brad that makes him?
Oh,
Let's
that's
shout
so
out
nice
Brad.
that you would ask. Brad is very content with life. And as someone who sort of struggles to have more, do more, know more, be more, go more, he sort of grounds me. He's in the middle. And I see just the contentment that brings him. And
I love that.
Yeah, we're
He
a good
embraces
balance.
it, yeah.
Yeah, he
Embraces
does.
the
He's
middle.
just very happy with our life. And I'm grateful for that.
Oh, I love that. Favorite, I just had it and it just escaped my mind. This is that age
See?
thing and that menopause brain fog we were talking about. Okay, favorite brave moment, a moment in your life you've been brave.
Oh, well, I think it was brave to leave TV.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure that I had the skills to take on a whole new job in a new industry. And I felt a little bit of inferiority and a little bit of imposter syndrome in that transition.
Because you were trying something new? Was it a bit, something that maybe you hadn't done before? Was that where the imposter syndrome came?
I think so. I mean, I had the same thing when I started in the news business. So, yeah. And, I went into an industry where there are so many brilliant, smart, credentialed people. And so I was nervous about fitting in there with different kinds of credentials, far fewer academic credentials, and people have been wonderful. But it was, and I knew everything about the news business. It was sort of on autopilot, which was part of the problem.
Right.
I didn't want to live on autopilot. And look, 7 years has flown by learning something new every single day.
I bet. And that's the beauty of it, really, is that because I think what stops maybe a lot of people from making the jump is the uncomfortableness.
Yeah.
Right? That you feel when you think, okay, I'm going to try something new, or I'm going to leave something that I know well and that I feel really comfortable in.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's almost like the uncomfortableness stops you. But what you're saying is, go for it, because you have to be uncomfortable. It's not like you're just going to step in day one and go, oh yeah, I got this chief of staff down.
Yeah.
Right?
I was born for this. I mean, nobody says that.
Yeah.
The beginning of anything is so fun and exciting, and you're planning and you're scheming and you're collaborating. Yeah. And then the end is awesome because you cross the finish line and you win and you make the money or you get the promotion. But the middle part, is the part where you've got to find some appreciation for the lessons and the perseverance, and it's not always easy. But I genuinely think the people who are the most successful figure out how to navigate the middle of that thing. They are hardworking and consistent and persistent, and they don't give up. Yeah. And so, that's why talking about the middle has been important to me.
I love that.
That was my Miss Texas journey. That was certainly the news journey. That's been the UTPB journey. It's been the parenting journey. It's been the marriage journey.
Yes.
The middle of all of those things was challenging, but as you come out the other side, it sure has been exciting to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. You said parenting. Let's give your best parenting advice that you were given.
Oh.
And then your best parenting advice you would give.
Oh, gosh. Best parenting advice that I received was probably, and this was a struggle for me. I really pushed my girls to do the things that I wanted them to do. The oldest one, bless her heart, I forced her to do dance as her young life. And when she was she was about 11, and she had pneumonia in both lungs right before the recital. And I asked the doctor, well, she can still be in the recital, right? I bought the costumes.
Right.
And the doctor was like, no, she has pneumonia. She can't.
Yeah,
and
she's sick.
My very sick daughter was like, yes. So people have told me, let your children follow their own passions.
Yes.
And that was really good advice. Really hard to do, though. I think that's really, how you have gotten 4 of your children to like the same things and be excellent at it is, look, you should write a book about that.
Well, I don't know how they all loved it, because we did it all. They really truly
you did
it
the
all.
soccer and the gymnastics.
Oh, yeah. Like your dance story. I have one driving down Wadley, them going, no, don't dance. And I said, well, you have to finish out this season because we're going to recital, and we already bought the costume for competition, and
it's happening.
Yeah, and so I get that story 150%, but that really taught me I don't want them ever to do something that I want them to do. Yeah. I want them to do what they want to do, and so I really learned that through dance, really, because I thought my mom's a dance teacher, I was a dance teacher.
We dance.
You're gonna dance, and they're like, but we hate dance. So I'm like, but they're really good dancers to this day because of it, like on the dance floor, But I just laugh at that because I thought that's what you were supposed to do as parenting. You're supposed to encourage them to do things. Yeah, do things that you know, but that's not it. Do things that they show interest in and try different things, and it's okay to to stop playing a sport or stop dance or stop this.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying yes to something that they do want to do.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
no,
again,
I get that.
how do you balance
100%.
being pushy enough, but not too pushy?
I think it's encouragement. That's what I have, and trust me, I don't want to give any parenting advice. I mean, we have succeeded at some things and failed at things too, right?
Same.
A lot. And I would just say, just love and encouragement, just whatever it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
That's healthy, right?
Yeah.
Don't encourage them to do something on, but that's good for them and healthy, and encourage, and just being there. Unconditional love is what I've learned, and they're all different. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I thought they were all going to be the same.
No, they are. Mine are night and day, and I know
No.
some of yours are polar opposites too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Complete opposites. So,
And then I'd pass along read books.
yes,
I mean, read books. That's the differentiator for our oldest child. Youngest child, we didn't read as many books. She's still doing great, by the way. But
Yeah.
read books.
I get that. Yeah. 100%. Okay, we are getting close to the end, but I have so many more questions. A fun fact about you that we would not know on your bio.
I'm going to be so embarrassed that I said this. So I can take my, this is embarrassing. I can take my hair and wrap it around my ear to complete suppression.
I love that.
My face is red. I'm really embarrassed about this. That is a fact you would never know. about
Would
me.
never know. Very cool.
Very
And how
embarrassing.
did you learn that?
I do not know.
Just happened.
That's the best question. How does one determine
I'm jealous.
that one
I
can
know.
collapse her ear? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And now it's a nervous habit. You can see my hair is sort of broken off here because I do that as a nervous habit. Why am I talking about
It's
this?
okay because we wanted a fun fact, and that's what we love about you is you'll talk about anything.
Oh, gosh.
I love it, and also you're a good cornhole player. I've heard.
I am
I
a
remember
good
seeing
cornhole
that
player.
somewhere. I don't remember
I
through
am.
the years that's
Well, because I grew up at the time when you did, when skee ball was in every arcade, and I was never good at like the video part, but skee ball, it's the same motion.
it is.
Chipping is the same motion.
See?
Really?
Chipping, pretend, yes.
I'm a terrible chipper.
Well,
I can't
actually,
get it
Al-
to go up.
Al always tells the parents that are trying to get their daughters to start playing, right? Don't you always tell them throw a ball?
18 months.
18 months, have them throw a ball because that touch will help them
Okay.
with chipping, right? Am I getting that right? Okay.
Well, that's
Don't
the
want to
worst.
speak for you.
It's not the worst part of my game. It's one of the many worst parts of my games. I can't get the ball to go up. I blade it, and it just goes miles on a. I'm trying to. I call it Scotty Schefflering it.
Okay.
And it really.
Al, I was gonna say Al,
Okay,
Al can
thanks.
fix you after this. He is the master of the swing. I swear. He can look at someone swing, and go, oh, if they just did that, and then he's right. And then they do it,
Yeah.
and then they
I just
shoot
can't do
80. That's okay.
You're a teacher, not
That's
a doer.
right. That's right. That's right. Okay, I'm trying to think what else. I had so many other questions. I want to know, what do you want your legacy to be when people look back and they think, oh my, I mean, I can think of a million positive words people will say about it. What do you want them to think of you?
Oh gosh, isn't it odd to think about legacy? You know, I don't know. That feels a little highfalutin, but I do appreciate the question. Maybe it's that she loved. I want people to know how much I love the community. I mean, really, the things that I enjoy doing the most are to make this region the best it can be. And we had our State of the University yesterday, and Jared Blong was one of our guests.
Oh, I bet he did great.
He was outstanding. And one of the things that he said, and I got goosebumps when he said it, and then I got goosebumps again when I repeated it. But he said, "This is a noble place to live." I mean,
It is.
this place we love is a noble place to live, where we are, impacting the global economy every single day. And I'm not in oil and gas, but I'm
Right.
just so darn proud of, what we do here.
Right.
And I happen to think it's a beautiful place to be, a beautiful place to live with the kindest people. Maybe everyone says that, but I genuinely think it's true here.
I'm with
So-
you. I am Team West Texas, and
Yeah.
whether it's Midland, Odessa, this region, I love the people here.
Yeah.
Because they've been so good to you. I'm sure. I mean, if you think about all the
good.
people in your life, I mean, and you've been so good to them, and I think that everyone will remember you for loving our community.
Wow.
Because-
Thank you. It's I love being here for sure. So
And that shows 150%.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do, and I appreciate again all the collaborations that you do, because I see you, Tatum Hubbard, out there. You're collaborating with this one and that one, and connecting these people, and that's the beautiful part, and that's what makes our community stronger. Is the people that are working together for the good of West Texas.
not a competition, not all the time.
Nope.
Now on the sports field, maybe.
I think one of the things UTPB has done that I love the most is sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very competitive in sports.
Right.
Well, if you haven't been to a D2 sporting event, you are missing out.
I
It
agree.
is. I mean, look, they are so talented,
Yes.
and in this age of portal and the transformation in the NCAA Division I, the quality of athletes are so strong.
Absolutely.
It is so much fun. Come to a football game this fall. Go to a basketball game where you are this close to the players. Women's basketball has my whole heart. They are so good. Soccer's amazing. Baseball,
Yes.
softball. I mean, it's. Thank you for saying that, because it
And
is
the golf team.
really cool.
Yes. And
I
golf.
love our
Yes.
golf coach. I just
Oh.
haven't figured out how to get on the golf course to cheer them on. It's a quiet sport.
It is a quiet sport. That's funny you say that, because someone asked, well, did you cheer loud when Alex won yesterday? And I was like, we just went like this. Good job, sweetie. You did great. Give him a fist pump and a hug, But it's not like there's like, woohoo,
Maybe that's our niche, though. What's the golf tournament where you yell and scream and like throw beer everywhere?
Oh, Phoenix Open.
Maybe we should sort of work that into the Permian Basin.
I think we
somehow.
should, definitely.
Yeah.
Because they are, every athlete is a hard worker, right?
Yeah.
And I think they all should be cheered for like that. And I think there's a statistic, and please correct me out if I'm wrong, but it's like, it doesn't matter if you're a D1, D2, D3, JUCO, college athlete, you are the top 1% in your sport.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you think about that, it's like, don't get tied up in the D this, the D that. If you love the sport,
Yeah.
find the school that is the fit for you. Find the coach.
Man, haven't we learned that?
The people.
Yeah.
And do what you love to do. And if that happens, it all works out.
Yeah.
And don't focus on the number or
Yeah. We interviewed some former baseball players who are now both in the Landman program. And they came from, I can't remember, Wyoming and California, I think. Love it here. And they came here because of sports. So in that way, it is having a huge impact. They're both planning to stay here, work in the industry. So to Al's point, sports at UTPB has really been transformational, and it's so darn fun.
I love that. For that, we applaud you again, because I love that it's getting highlighted, because I
Yeah.
see the social media, right? And
Good.
I love that. I love that. it's
Shout
getting
out to
highlighted.
Brandon on our team.
Yes, way to go, Brandon and team. Is there anything coming into the interview that we haven't talked about yet that you wanted people to know about you, UTPB, Messy Middle, motherhood, anything, any of the great topics we've talked about? Because I really could talk to you for about like another 3 hours.
Well-
but is there anything we haven't spoke to?
I really can't think about that of anything. I think what I would say is my closing sentiment is just, it's so nice to be around people like you who are kind and hardworking and who love our community. So I'm just glad to have the chance to be here and have a great conversation about moving things in a positive direction. There's so much negativity. We spent a lot of our years talking about the negativity. It's nice to be able to talk about the positive things that are making the world a little better, not worse. So
Absolutely.
Wish we could spend a little more of our time doing that.
I could not agree more. And right back to you, because I think the more that we focus on the good, the more good happens. And it's not saying that life is always going to be rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, like I would hope it would be, but if you can look at the good of any situation wherever you're at, you're going to find the good, And so I'm glad that we're getting to shine a light on all the good that you're doing in the community and UTPB and all of the things. And so thank you for sharing your time with
My
us
pleasure.
today, Tatum. I've enjoyed this so much. Okay, fun game to close out. We're just going to say middle and say the first things that come to mind. Ready? Okay, middle...
Finger.
Always
Finger for me. It's terrible. Middle age. Middle finger.
child.
Middle child.
Middle, your turn.
Middle lane.
Al.
Middle of the fairway.
Middle
I've done
fairway.
that
I
one, too.
love it. Middle
the
linebacker.
best place to
Is
be.
there a middle linebacker?
Yeah, there
okay.
is.
Middle linebacker.
there is.
Go ahead, your turn.
Middle of the political spectrum.
Hey, I like it.
Middle class.
Middle-
Oh, sorry. That's when my turn.
Okay, middle lane.
Yeah.
Middle.
turn.
Your turn.
I think I like the political spectrum.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we need more of that.
Well, yes, let's meet in the middle and talk about it. And yes, so thank you so much. I wish you much success
Thank
with
you.
your messy middle
Thank you.
and embracing all that it is and will become, because anything that is positive and gets conversation going, I think is a good thing in our life. You know what else is a good thing? That you've been with us for the past hour or so. I don't know where we're at, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Please, if you can, share this with someone that you love. Share with someone that maybe needs a little encouragement today. But most importantly, we ask you to support all the local businesses in West Texas, because we are all in this together and we are all better together. So support local, and you can do that by going to any of the places we mentioned today, or how about our sponsors, supporting our local sponsors. Big shout out to Omni Midland Hotel, Rig ID Workwear, Kevin Foreman of Foreman Financial, the Laughlin Hotel. What else am I forgetting? JoinCapClub.com, Midland Cap Company, and every other local business that you love to support. Just shout them out on social media. It's free. It's easy to do. Support them, and let's keep the money here in West Texas and the support. Again, thank you, Tatum, for your time.
Pleasure.
Look forward to seeing all the great things to come in the future.
Thank you.
And enjoy the middle. And if this is the middle of your day, enjoy the middle of your day. And don't forget to dream big, believe, and never give up. You make it a great middle day.